must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Good afternoon, viewers. I want to take a few minutes in the Africa School of Thought. I want to say a few points regarding the situation of the Chief Justice in the Republic of Kenya. The Chief Justice is part of the governance of the people of Kenya. He is one arm of the governance of the Republic of Kenya. The Chief Justice has never convened or tried to convene a meeting between the President, the Speaker of National Assembly, and himself to find out the weakest link in the fight in the governance of the people of Kenya. It is therefore very shameful for the whole Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya to use a platform, external platform, to announce a regime change proceeds using the platforms of international civil society to dismember the government of the Republic of Kenya. As a Pan-African, I feel sorry and saddened by the events that are taking place in the judiciary of the Republic of Kenya. The President or the executive has done its best. It has given the funding that is needed to fight corruption. Every time the agencies that fight corruption arrange, indict, and deliver a suspect in the courts of the Republic of Kenya, the same judiciary that the Chief Justice represents, the same judiciary that the Chief Justice says it is very perfect, releases these people, at times on flimsy reasons, blocks the route of justice, obstructs justice. The case of the former Deputy Chief Justice, Lady Mwiru, who was found who should have taken a plea, but because of the problems that the judiciary has and the weaknesses, the incompetences that the judiciary has, the Lady Justice Mwiru was allowed to petition the DCI and DPP's application and a charge. She never took a charge, a plea in the normal courts. Of course, the events are much bigger than what we see today. It is sorry state that the Chief Justice is the one who can mention about the failure, yet the word failure is actually associated with the judiciary of the Republic of Kenya. Everybody in the judiciary knows, every Kenyan, young or old, knows that there is a problem with the Chief Justice. I take one example. For the Chief Justice to talk about the nullified elections, that dynasties collect themselves in kingdoms, in business entrepreneurs win an election, shows to you that he has something that is against the current administration of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. I therefore call upon the international community not to listen to the side that actually weakened the fight against corruption in Kenya, but help the Kenyan people to fight corruption. Because the weakest link, which all of us know, is the judiciary in Kenya. If the Chief Justice was pleasing the civil society funders, the NGOs that gathered in Oxford, let them hear this message, that it is him and him alone. It is his incompetency, the lack of direction, the lack of leadership, the poor leadership qualities, the lack of pointing out the mistakes in law. The law itself that the Chief Justice talks about is the one to recommend which type of law. He can also suggest to the other two arms of government that the laws in Kenya surrounding cases of corruption are weak. But as usual, he has been the weakest link, remains the weakest link. Who is plotting, who is planning, who is trying to execute a foreign instigated plan against the Jubilee government. Thank you very much, viewers. That is a statement as far as the situation of Kenya is concerned. The Chief Justice, therefore, is plotting a coup, a constitutional coup, because he is trying to blackmail the leadership of the Republic of Kenya. Thank you very much, viewers. God bless you. Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to Punchline Africa TV, broadcasting all the way from Nairobi, the Republic of Kenya. Thank you very much. This show is an exclusive show, a show that is going to show to you that power of investigations, power of truth, power of telling it as it is very important. This is MATSANGA Africa Perspective. This afternoon with me in the studio to take on this show, powerful, very exotic show regarding the situation in the judiciary of the Republic of Kenya. What a sad situation. What a sad scenario. What a weakest link we have. The judiciary of Republic of Kenya is the weakest link in the governance of Republic of Kenya. The judiciary of Republic of Kenya is incompetent in the governance of this country. The Chief Justice himself is incompetent. He doesn't know the head, the tail, the stomach, the legs, the limbs, and other things, even the eyes. He doesn't see properly. Maybe tonight and this evening alone, we are going to bring it to the table This guy has been plotting a coup against the government of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. I have reasons as to why, and I will table these reasons. Welcome to the show, Miriam Ogoto.
Good afternoon. This
is MATSANGA Africa Perspective. If you have ears, listen today. Get a pen, a paper, sit down and listen. I am bringing facts only. Nothing but facts only. I am delivering them to the table, to the altar of truth. It is up to you, Kenyans, to find out what it is that ails this country. You arrest corruption suspects. The Chief Justice wants a Mercedes-Benz. Instead of sentencing the people so that they pay and they get a Mercedes, he is busy addressing press conferences like a politician outside the Supreme Court. The Chief Justice of Republic of Kenya, David Maraga, is a very interesting character. I will begin narrating the story because when we begin with the elections of 2017, he will say we are revisiting. But let me now bring the facts here. Chief Justice Maraga, have you ever met George Soros? And if so, have you ever met George Soros' representative? Because if you say no, I will bring the details. And we are now going to have a big journey, long journey. You and I, one has to find the other. And unfortunately, I will find you. Mr. Chief Justice of Republic of Kenya, before the coup, before the alleged coup, a judicial coup, the Chief Justice was a student of George Soros. I have a document and I present it as exhibit. Document number 1, exhibit, where the Chief Justice, together with other agencies, NGOs, were in close cohort, working hand by hand, day and night, minute by minute, inch by inch, consulting the Open Society Foundation. Mr. Chief Justice, you had a plan. Your plan to dismember this country was very clear. Your plan to bring this country to a dangerous proportion, very clear. I will give you a copy of this document. If you read and you find that it is not correct, let's go to court. Your same court. Mr. Chief Justice, who bought the ticket for you to go to Vienna? You purchased it from where? Who sent the ticket? Can you show the people of Kenya where you bought that ticket and who bought the ticket? Who paid for the ticket? Mr. Chief Justice, I'm coming slowly so that I present my case so frankly. The Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya, 2 weeks ago, in Qatar, in the hotel that I don't want to spoil their name, in Qatar, met the Chief Prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, Fatou Bensouda. I have videos, DVDs of their meeting. Mr. Chief Justice, what did you discuss with Fatou Bensouda? Did you discuss how you can prolong the justice in the Kenya? How do you make better justice in the Republic of Kenya? Hallelujah. The hotel you are in has supplied us the tapes. Thank you very much, Chief Justice. Did you meet Fatou Bensouda in Qatar? Yes or no? Mr. Chief Justice, Do you have a driving license? And if you have a driving license, did you get any permission to drive the car on 22nd of December, the year of our Lord, 2018? Mr. Chief Justice, where were you going? You are Seventh-day Adventists. You don't work on Saturday. The records in police in Nakuru indicate, the people on the scene indicate, you are the driver of the car. If there was an official driver, I want to see the treatment, where he was treated, which doctors treated him, which type of wounds did the Chief Justice have, and did the drivers and the bodyguards of the Chief Justice have. You have now touched the raw nerves, and we are coming for you. You lied to the people of Kenya that you got an accident, you are being driven, you are driving a car. What's your license number, Mr. Chief Justice? Show it to the police. Show it to the DCI. Don't show it to me. Mr. Chief Justice, I would like you to tell me where on earth were the bodyguards treated, the driver treated, who is the owner of the car, Mr. Chief Justice, who paid the insurance, what has happened to the docket at Nakuru police station? Hallelujah! Let's go on. Show us the doctors who treated your bodyguard. Can the picture of that car be brought? Production team, bring it on. Let's go with this Chief Justice. We have had enough of you, Maraga. You have made the whole East Africa a shame. People have been keeping quiet. People have been respecting you. Produce your driving license to NTCA. Say who was driving, what insurance you had, what permission you got from the government transport officer to drive a government official car. Mine is an investigative case. It's a scenario to investigate. It is up to the authorities to ask us and to go to Nakuru police station. Bring the man whose car was knocked, the man whose car you knocked. How many occupants were in the car when the car was knocked? We want the policemen who came at the scene to come and testify in the court of law, in a commission of inquiry that this country must put forward. Because you don't need a Chief Justice who lies. A Chief Justice should be beyond reproach, even beyond Caesar's wife. Mr. Chief Justice, if you can only produce to me the details of signatures of where you left the bodyguards, of the police, where you left your driver, the programs of the church of where you are going, because I don't want to tell Kenyans where you are going. I'm sparing you that, because it's a very embarrassing situation for you. Mr. Chief Justice, it is very serious, silly, prudish, naive for you to stand and accuse people about corruption. I'm not going to go. I've never accused you of any corrupt tendencies. This document here, which I have exhibit, and Mr. Robert Alai, you better now just get yourself something to do. I speak my mind. At least I warned you never to speak anything, lest we discuss and we are friends. I saved you from Moses Kuria coming for you. But I want to say the truth, to set this country free out of this quagmire of a Chief Justice who yaps every morning. A Chief Justice whose court has failed to deliver justice to the people of Kenya. A Chief Justice who cannot tell a simple lie as to who was driving the car. I expect people like Robert Alai to investigate who was driving the car that morning. And that is the best thing that you can do. Instead of maybe trying to dash under some clouds of uncertainty. Viewers, when you look at all these facts, just bring them down. The Chief Justice of Republic of Kenya goes and tells the world, that is the car. I would like to know how many occupants were in that car. Who was in the car? Who was driving? We know Madam was in the car and the Chief Justice was in the car. Who else was in the car? Any documentation of any hospital in Nakuru where the bodyguards and the driver were injured? If the Chief Justice can prove that, it's a commission of inquiry that the president can set, or the people of Kenya. I'm not concerned about it. I am an observer. But I want to bring this to the notice of the people. And I am not bothered about you, because you are not even the age of my children. Number one, firstborn is not your age. And in fact, it doesn't look like you. So that is not a problem for me, Mr. Alai. If you have been told to attack MATSANGA, go on. I'm even worse. You write and write things about people. But I'm not going to be persuaded to change my course. I am stating facts because things need to be stated. When the courts in America said they were judges, when the courts in America said they were judges who were peddling, aiding drug dealers in Mombasa, the Chief Justice of Republic of Kenya said there was none. The report that came therefore from the rulings that were made by the Akasha named several judges. Production produced that report. It indicates several judges within the court had been named as drug judges that let off the drugs that killed many Kenyans, maybe including Alai's sister or mother or son, if they are alive or not alive, or including sisters, brothers, relatives. Many Kenyans died. Many Kenyans perished. The Chief Justice said there was no judge in Kenya who was involved in anything in obstruction of justice. What did the American groups say? The American groups came back and said, hello, we are convicting the guys. They did a pre-bargain. They have named several judges who are still in the bench. The Chief Justice has not tried for once to make it a case that he can name and tell these judges to step aside while investigations will be on top of the hour. Viewers, mine is a delivery of the truth. Before elections, Chief Justice Maraga traveled to Vienna. I've already indicated to you that there is a plan, and there was a plan, to buy tickets and to plot to overthrow the government of Republic of Kenya. through a silent coup. I have done my best. I have the investigations. I have everything on my hands. I want to spare this for the tribunal because this is a show. I want to invite Mr. Alai to my television and maybe we shall discuss facts instead of calling people names, stupid, what. You have gone to school a bit. I thought this time the head has gathered some, instead of being so big, it has gathered some knowledge. So I invite Mr. Alai to my television or any television station in the country to discuss what I'm talking about. Because mine, I go with evidence. Mr. Alai, when I was fighting Ocampo, you used to tell me that I was a liar. Where is Ocampo today? Ocampo cannot book a hotel of one room in any city in the world. I finished him. So I'm not worried of any other people, including you. But let me come to the truth. Kenya Supreme Court and the Judiciary was surrounded by NGOs. The NGOs that planned, plotted, equipped, supplied logistics to the court to dismember the democratic path of this nation. I want to play one tape which my production team can play so that you can see for yourselves how this court made a ruling, how a ruling was written for them to write, to read, and how a whole Deputy Chief Justice could not write her own and read her own ruling. I'm going to open lines for calling in, so you wait. Those who want to call in, wait a bit. Production team, put that tape to come across. Put it on. There you are, Stephen, it's on your night. I want us to listen to this tape. I want you to listen to how the judiciary of the Republic of Kenya tried to take over, to undermine the democratic path of this country. How the treasury, how the judiciary has been paid by George Soros. How George Soros has infiltrated the judiciary of this country. How George Soros has manipulated the judiciary of this country. Why the DCI, DPP will never win a case in that judiciary as long as Maraga is the judge at the helm. Viewers, mine is, Stephen, when you are ready, tell me. Tell me. I want to be very honest, very candid. Operation is carried out by a discreet Naikima Ochana. She is the deputy registrar of that court. Used Kevin Konga to backdate NASA documents on 31st of in the 18th August of 2017. Amongst the people who was at the Chief Justice's home in Karen on Monday 28th August, researching a nullification of these elections. I have evidence. And this evidence can be tabled. Is here. I'm coming to everybody to tell you, to prove how the Chief Justice Maraga is staging a quiet, silent coup against the state within the state of the Republic of Kenya. I want to state categorically that my facts, and Stephen, I'm waiting for that document. Let it come production. I've sent you a video for
Is there
people.
a judiciary coup to unseat the government in the aftermath of Kenya's 2017 election? Who was involved in this coup, and how deep did it run? Is Kenya's judiciary still at risk from these rogue agents? In the run-up to the August 2017 elections, the people of Kenya witnessed unusual judicial activity around the role and place of the Independent Electoral Commission. Numerous injunctions were filed by civil society and political parties trying to influence the election. These court cases involve significant matters, such as acquiring voting material down to inconsequential matters, such as the color used on the ballot papers. The effect this had was frustrating the Electoral Commission and almost delaying the whole election altogether. The motivation behind these delays and judicial interferences was simple: greed. The outcome was sinister, a constitutional crisis, and the beneficiaries undefined: cartels and power brokers. We'll begin our story on the 20th of September and work our way back to where the plot began and who was involved. September 20th, Supreme Court, Nairobi. Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwelu is reading a prepared statement to the court. Observers note that she is stumbling through the document, unsure of what she is reading.
An impregnable case on both limbs of the section, to wit, accurate, verifiable, accountable.
There is a reason for this. She did not prepare the document herself and has not taken time to familiarize herself with the text. Contrasted with her fellow judges, the scene becomes more suspicious. The truth is, the document she is reading was prepared for her by someone she has never met in Austria. It was delivered to her office the day before, and she has barely had a chance to read it. The author of this statement met with Chief Justice David Maraga in Vienna, Austria between the 2nd of September and the 10th of September. Why was the Chief Justice in Vienna for a week during the most crucial moment of Kenya's history? Only the day before, September 1st, the Supreme Court had nullified the election result and informed the public that the judges would be preparing their statements in the days to follow. Curiously, the Chief Justice's diary shows that he had traveled to meet a representative of the Open Society Foundation, a group with an unclear purpose but well-spread networks around the world. Why did Kenya's Chief Justice fly to meet Open Society representative Waikwa Noike after making that crucial decision? Why was the Deputy Chief Justice's statement prepared by a third party unknown to the public? By this stage, the coup had already developed and was in its final stage. All that was needed was for the public to unanimously accept the judge's statements and proceed to a second election, which was also to be nullified, as these confidential text messages reveal. The entire plot to nullify the election rested in three key places. Rosalind Akombe infiltrating and betraying the Electoral Commission from within, Supreme Court Register Esther Naikaki, who would receive evidence for the presidential petition and allow falsified and fake forms into evidence, and the biased judiciary, which was eyeing more funding from open society in return for judicial conformity with the Soros-led institution.
Thank you very much, viewers. You have heard it yourselves. You have the clip. You can replay it. You can talk. You can disagree with me. But history will take me down harshly if I don't tell you what is going on and what has been going on. It's a long story. The people behind this are well organized from George Soros Group. They have been here and they have been trying to destabilize the government of Republic of Kenya, of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta to date. I want to take you back to the history. 2013, Mutunga introduces IDLO into judiciary. They start funding and influencing key programs in the judiciary. In 2014, May 2014, Justice Tonoi is served with notes by the Chief Registrar of the Supreme Court to vacate his office by June 3rd. In 2016, January, scheme to control judiciary gets into high gear with bribery claims against Justice Philip Tonoi. February 26th, February 26th, 2016, Justice Mutunga launches a book, Balancing Scales of Justice. That was from the key pillar in justifying annulment of the presidential elections book funded by IDLO. I will explain what IDLO stands for. June 14th, Justice Kapral Rawal is honorably retired despite her objection. The first coup took place. Justice Tonoi was thrown out. Second coup, Justice Rawal was thrown out. October 19th, 2016, civil society candidate Maraga replaces Chief Justice Mutunga as a new Chief Justice. The third coup takes place. Chief Justice Maraga David, joined by Deputy Chief Justice Mwiru. Justice Mwiru, Justice Maraga, Lenora were in. Remember, I had filed an application seeking to nullify work envelope. I'll tell you the bitterness. I lost $7 million, 7 million shillings, 7 million shillings in that court because I was trying to help the country called Kenya. April 26, 2017, hiring of 100 researchers paid by IDLO, who were also informers and agents of Open Society Foundation. The Open Society Foundation were tasked to handle election-related cases. June 12, 2017, IDLO funds civil society to organize IEBC election preparedness conference. This was a decoy to legitimize Kura Yangu, Sauti Yangu initiative. Remember, as these things were happening, there was another lady in the IEBC called Dr. Rosalind Akombe. Dr. Rosalind Akombe coordinated George Soros' activities through the IDLO informers who were in the court. On August 4th, 2017, Justice Maraga launches amicus and a bench book on electoral dispute resolution funded again by IDLO. August 18th, 2017, Raila Odinga files an application seeking to nullify the presidential elections. Sunday, August 20th, the IEBC lawyers raise alarm over the late filing of the documents by the opposition. I want to thank the President and His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga for having united to forget about this. But it was a bad coup. Thursday, August 31st, 6:30 p.m. at Crown Plaza Hotel. I have the timing and the recordings. 8th floor, in the room that is a suite of a presidential nature, all judges agreed to uphold President Kenyatta's election. Wednesday, 30th August, Maraga, Mwiru, Smoking, Lenola got into a secret meeting in absence of Justice Ojwang and Justice Njoki. Wacha ikiumane. Let people hear the truth. Monday, August 28th, researchers in the Supreme Court meet at the CJ's office in Karen. Let's go to 31st of August at 8:30 p.m. at Crown Plaza, 8th floor in the same room. Justice Mwiru tells Justice Njoki and Ojwang that the other 4 judges had decided to annul the election. Justice Mwiru further told them, "We are going to annul the election. You can go to tell your government that if you wish, you can write your dissenting opinions." Friday, September 1st, 4 judges annul Kenyatta's win with 2 judges dissenting. Friday, September 8th, Justice Maraga flies out of the country to Lithuania. He then cancelled the scheduled meeting in London and flies back home, arrives at JK International Airport on 10th September and is driven out of JKA in an unmarked car. Saturday, September 9th, Wagwan. These things are very interesting. The events that took place are very interesting. If I can give you the background of the evil society, which is civil society, we have the following people. Ford Foundation is headed by William Mutunga, Maurice Mokolo. Institute of Law is founded by just retired Violin Mavisi, Maurice Mokolo, Dr. Collins Odote. Judiciary Training School is headed by Stephen Ouma, Doctor. Caroline Ojong Abong is the head of Euro's Integration Seminars, Democracy and Documentation of Civil Society. IDLO, which is part of George Soros, is called Governance, IDLO Governance based in The Hague. And remember this, mark this, based in The Hague, where ICC sits. Otieno Okero, Makau Mutua, William Mutunga, Ruth Aura. These are the lead consultants of IDLO. The judiciary of the Republic of Kenya has been surrounded, molested, beaten, insulted, abused by these NGOs that has surrounded it. That when you make decisions, no wonder the judge can come to cry for a Mercedes, because Mercedes can only be given by NGOs. Justice Maraga, Dr. Collins Adote, Moses Owor, Justice retired Mavisi, and Murungu Kigunda are part of the judiciary that sits and coordinates the activities of USAID. And I repeat, USAID Kenya. USAID Kenya is a branch of the American CIA that gives funding for destabilization in Africa. Viewers, if you look at the organizations that have surrounded Kenya, the judiciary, these are the ones: Kura Yangu Coalition, Kenya Human Rights Committee by Maina Kiai, Informed Action by Maina Kiai, AFRICOG by Gladwell Otieno, Katiba Institute by Yashpal Gai, ICJ by George Kegoro, MIML KPTJ by Harun Dubi, Inuka Trust by Githongo, Development Through Media. Okay, you see Kenya Correspondent Association, Olo Janak, Muhuri Hussein Khalid, the one of Mombasa, Awaz Zahid, Mazingira Institute, Davinda Lamba, Freedom House, Odiambo, Kura Yangu, Suba Churchill. I don't want to mention the other team because we were in a handshake, but I will leave it. Then you come to Kenya. Human Rights is headed by Kagoro, Caroline Abong, William Mutunga, Professor Makau Mutua, Dr. Stephen Ouma, Maina Kiai, Muthoni Wanyaike. She's based in France. Very lethal during the buying of witnesses of ICC. That was, yes, that lady, Gabriel Dolan, Godwin Murunga. AFRICOG is Otieno, Gladwell, Maina Kiai, and Githongo. Open Society Foundation, the people who fund, guess what? Who is this? Muthoni Wanyaike, Maina Kiai, Mugambi Kiai, brother and brother, they are eating the same man of George Soros. Okay, Inuka Trust is Githongo. Informed Action is Maina Kiai again. No wonder people have bought these houses in Runda. That Kenyans know and know the problem that we have that has surrounded the judiciary. And the media focus this one that buys journalists. I think those on the screen can see for yourselves to save time. These are the people who are busy buying journalists to print everything against President Uhuru Kenyatta. The money still goes in, the money is there, and the money is being utilized to confuse the judiciary. Viewers, the story is a wrong one. I want to cut it short so that I bring in there you are. If you want, You can look at those. Those who feel that they have been wrongly mentioned, you can sue me. And Maraga will have to dispense justice. I'm prepared for the suing. I have done it. I stand by. I stand by the truth. And have nothing to worry. Because too much of this nonsense, people want to stabilize this nation. The nation is always destabilized. Viewers, today the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya stood in front of the Supreme Court and made very serious allegations. The allegations that were made must be looked into by all Kenyans. And the Chief Justice and the public, it doesn't need only Kenyans, it needs the public, or wherever you are listening from. Therefore, I am playing my part as part of the public who has ever been denied justice in that court. I want to thank you very much. You want to take a contribution? Because I'm right on live. Do you want to take a contribution?
MATSANGA is the greatest man of all time.
Thank you very much. Can you speak up, man?
MATSANGA is the greatest man of all time.
Okay. Thank you very much. I brought to the attention of the world the mishaps of Justice Maraga. I brought to the attention of the world.
Who's your friend here?
Don't worry, I'm live on live. You can make a telephone call if you want. You can call in and make your contribution. I want to thank you, but I've done my best. I would like to find out from Chief Justice Maraga, who was driving the car in Nakuru. Was he the driver? Was he the bodyguard? If the driver was driving, where was the driver treated? Which hospital treated the driver? Which hospital treated the bodyguard? Which doctors in Nakuru? What is the CBR in Nakuru? Where are the cars that the Chief Justice knocked? I want that. And that's what I'm looking for. I have no regrets. I am an investigative journalist. I want to find out where all these things are.
Was he being driven by him?
He drove it himself. And I would like to find out where he got the permission, who gave him the permission to drive a government vehicle without a driving license. So there are quite a number of things. Let me take it on and finish. Thank you very much. Those are the things that we want to find out. We want to thank you very much for your contribution. Continue listening live. So thank you very much, viewers. The situation is such a bad situation that Kenya finds itself in a bad shape. The judiciary, now I want to bring you in, Miriam, to ask the questions that you want to ask. I think you were shocked about some of the things that you didn't know, but these are the things that people are asking. The accident took place. The owner who complains about Thank you very much, James Mukura, my brother. Thank you very much. It is a tragic accident that a person of Maraga's stature becomes a Chief Justice of this country. A man who can drive a car and not tell the police. Who are the police officers who are on the scene? We want to interview them. If I'm wrong, and the drivers were driving, which injuries? We didn't hear of any injuries of his bodyguards. We only heard about Maraga's injuries. So the car was not being driven by anybody else, because there is no, it is mysterious as to why a person being driven could get injuries on the head. It means you are in front and you knocked the screen. Then what about the people themselves who were driving the car? Chief Justice Maraga, if I were you, I would walk and go home. Because what is coming now is not very, very good at all. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. That has been nearly 1 hour of, very heavy content there. I was just here listening. So now, this morning, Dr. MATSANGA, you mentioned that the Chief Justice held a press conference, and the gist of the press conference was he was lamenting over what he terms as the micromanagement of the budget of the judiciary by the executive. I don't know what you make of that.
On the question of the budget, it is the Minister of Finance who knows how much each place. And equally, Chief Justice Maraga was saying anybody can go to court and challenge the president. Anybody can equally go to court today and file a challenge against Chief Justice. But I want to ask you, why did Chief Justice protect Mwiru? When people filed an application against Mwiru, the Chief Justice set a bench of 5 people to protect Justice Mwiru, who was actually indicted for money laundering and corruption. So why didn't he start with the deputy first? So also we have a right to go to court and ask who was driving the car. Did you ever hear about the man who made the Chief Justice car to have an accident? Where was he charged? Who charged him? What charge sheet and what CRB number in Nakuru was this? You can't knock a government car of a Chief Justice and we don't have details. Which insurance number? Which insurance company paid for this man's car? Who paid for the repair of the car? Where is this person? These are the questions any investigative journalist in this country can ask. And anywhere in the world he can ask. We are asking cardinal questions. Don't be even mad with us. You see, don't jump to conclusion. Let's not deal with symptoms. Let's get the root cause. The whole problem of this was a planned thing from behind. Today, the Chief Justice is behaving as if the judiciary is a state, that he is governing this country. He is not governing this country. There is a president of this country. The president is the biggest arm of government. It directs this nation. The Chief Justice does not do foreign policy or defense policy of this country. The president does the defense policy of this country. We have to protect the president. Why is the president, the Chief Justice, equating himself? It is not the president who cuts the money you talked about. It is the parliament that cuts the money according to your performance. If the judiciary was not performing, it was looking for, do you know what it was looking for? It was looking for Mercedes-Benz. If the money is being given for Mercedes-Benz and the rest of the judges are not paid their allowances, then this is a wrong judiciary. So they have cut it. The truth about the economy of this country today is very clear, Madam Miriam. The truth is that C.S. Rotich messed us up. CS Rotich should be in jail, should not even be going to Milimani Court.
I think it's one of, I looked at it in the morning show, in one of the dailies there is the headlines there, I think on the Standard News.
The headline is 100% correct.
He messed up the country.
He messed the country's economy. He told lies. The current minister is telling the truth. And I've written a position paper very clearly. I've made my stand very clear that these are not the type of things that we can gloss over. If Kenya, I tell you that court, people are asking me, why am I talking about this court? I lost money. I lost 7 million shillings in that court. And Maraga knows my case. He knows what he did. He shuffled all the judges until they excluded Justice Waki and they threw him out. Then they threw me out after spending money with lawyers, my money. And they said, oh, we don't know where the documents are. Then they removed my case completely from the files. You couldn't find in the computer my case. I had to go back and make noise on TV. Then they restituted the case. And one of the judges who did this to me is in the Supreme Court. Until I and my partner, who had put the file of this application, we lost money. I personally, who funded the petition to help Kenya, I funded this petition to help Kenya, and I want Ruto to listen. I want President Uhuru to listen. I want the Ocampo 6 to listen. If you don't remove the work envelope from your books of statute books, one day you see Maraga is in Qatar meeting this amorphous woman, very bad woman called Fatou Bensouda. What was the meeting for? That meeting was to do what? Now you know. That meeting took place. They have never told anybody what was supposed to be done. I am sending another for people who did not listen to these highlights. I will put them later after Miriam has asked all her questions.
I think I've asked because after watching that, because I wanted to just look at some of the queries or questions that as the CJ Maraga raised in the morning while he was having that press conference, that perhaps we should just watch that video and then we talk from there.
I think, thank you very much. I would like to play within the next remaining hour. I intended to finish within an hour. I was up. One big blow I wanted to surrender tonight. I've done it, but here we are. Stephen again. Let's listen to what Mr. Maraga was saying, because some people might be thinking I'm telling lies. There you are, Steve. It is very, very untold of. I am not Godfrey Brucer. I don't like a home, so I don't sleep on a tree. So I will excuse you, but I have put the disclosure. It is up to the authorities to investigate. Yes, let them investigate who was driving the car. And if they find that, after all, it's not criminal to tell, to be an investigative journalist. I told the story. If Maraga feels that I told a wrong story, he's not going to criminally take me to court. He will take me to a civil court for libel, of which he might sell my blood, because I have nothing to sell, no property. So let's battle it with the Chief Justice. Let him produce his driving license. The time when he was driving the car, how many people were in the car? Which police officers came to the rescue of the Chief Justice's car? Where was the flag? What flag? What was it doing? Who authorized it to go that way? People have been keeping quiet, and the money goes on accumulating more and more of George Soros' hate against Uhuru Kenyatta. Then you think we friends of Uhuru Kenyatta should keep quiet? He comes to make announcements that put the country to paralysis.
And part of the announcements that he makes, as we wait for that, just a quote, something that he said in the morning during the press briefing, the CJ Maraga said that in some decisions the judiciary makes, they are bound to clash with the interests of some officials in government. It is for this reason that some officials in government are crippling the judiciary by starving it of funds. So that is the position of the Chief Justice, that the reason why judiciary is not being given the money that it needs is because some people are being vindictive of the judiciary, because perhaps there's some decisions and some ruling by the courts that they are not very happy at. And by this, he particularly mentioned that some officials in government.
It is true. What, can't you see it? Can't you see it? Is the tape ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, the judiciary budget has been reduced drastically, and we have serious challenges. To that extent, the Constitution accords the judiciary special treatment. The CJ has no Mercedes car. We do not have money for fuel. So what we had planned is to cripple the judiciary, just to delay their cases so that they get tired and they don't go on. So there's nothing I can do. I will defend them. The judiciary is the weak link. Are you getting my point?
You have seen the video yourselves, and Maraga was not missing his words here.
But his car is funded by the taxpayer.
Yes.
He does not have fuel.
Yes.
And
he doesn't have fuel.
Yes. It's fueled by us. And there's no money to that. So that is, I think, where he was coming from.
No, but he said he has asked for a Mercedes-Benz.
He should be having one as a Chief Justice. I think his official car.
That is what the worry is.
Yes.
He has a Mercedes-Benz, but he says even that he doesn't have. He wants a car. It is the headline. You saw every news agency capturing Maraga wants a Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah, I saw one of those.
He says he's not accorded the respect at functions. That he comes like that, commoner.
But he's the Chief Justice of Kenya.
So it depends. Do they give him?
Yes. So did he cite any? Because I was a little busy preparing for some things. I did not watch the whole. I think we were here when he was starting to speak. I think I was here in the morning, so I was not able to watch the whole of his speech. But I don't know. Did he cite some examples of perhaps where he felt he was disrespected when he attended the functions or what? Because I did not watch the speech.
I mean, when you talk about these things, because if President Uhuru Kenyatta talks about these things, they will say he's trying to resist. But a journalist who has followed Maraga, when he went to Austria, I was also there. I wanted him to tell the public whom was he meeting.
So he actually said that Ukuri Yatani, the now acting CS for Treasury, he said that he is overstepping his mandate by trying to control the budget. So he seems to be having a case with the acting CS for Finance right now. He's the one who is stifling
a problem. Then why doesn't he pick a phone and talk to the president? Mr. Maraga does not want to talk to the president. What has annoyed me to come out, and I want Kenyans to know, whether you call me foreigner, alien, I can go away. I'm not bothered. But I want to tell you truth. Maraga is a head of one of the arms of government.
Which is a very important arm.
Why doesn't Maraga pick a fonale?
We're speaking that is
French. Fonale.
Today you...
Yes, for now,
you're going French.
And phone the president and tell the president, Mr. President, I want to sit down and we talk. He's a mature man. Why is he talking publicly like a civil servant or a paramount chief who is supervising people who are slashing the sides of the road? Why? That is what has annoyed me as an individual who lost 7 million shillings in a court, and the judge kept on saying he's in Burkina Faso, he's in Arusha, he's this way. When I went, I pleaded with Maraga, my file got lost because they wanted to protect Justice Waki. So you think I should laugh? Was this money given to me by the government to pay? Was it? I should laugh.
So for you, it's a bit personal.
Yeah, it is. I lost my money. My children's money. I lost it in court for legal fees on a subject which touches Kenyans. Tomorrow, Fetu Besuda is going to stand somewhere and other people is going to leave office and direct some small wazungu in Spain. When you are traveling on holiday in Spain, they flag you down. I was trying to save this country. And you see how Maraga twisted me, took me, twist ya mupenda. You know those twists, what you are in Nairobi to chase a twist.
All right.
When you are not born yet.
No, I listened to that music, but hey, you mentioned that probably the CJ should have perhaps picked a phone and called the president and had a sit down and talk about these matters. But how do we not know that perhaps he's tried other avenues and they didn't seem to be very successful for him to have opted for this a press conference? There are probability that perhaps he tried, reaching out perhaps to the Treasury. We don't know of that for sure. Perhaps he tried reaching for the president. I'm not sure. We don't know that for sure. But maybe he tried the avenues that he thought were available for him, so they were not very fruitful. So he decided, you know what, I'll bring it out.
Why are people asking me questions? I have said Mr. Maraga should have picked a telephone and called the president to discuss their matters quietly on how to do a relationship between the court and the president and the parliament. They can sit together.
Maybe he's just trying to be independent.
No, then if he's independent, then...
to have an independent judiciary.
No, it does not remove the independence.
But there should be a coexistence.
A coexistence.
Working together.
A working relationship. It doesn't matter whether there is president has a case in court or not. All judges in this whole world speak to the Queen. They also speak to the Queen.
The Queen of England.
Yes, they don't discuss the case in court. They speak to the Prime Minister. You think the courts in London don't speak to the Prime Minister?
I'm sure they do.
If a matter is going to injure the state, they talk. My biggest problem, why I've come out to here openly to say these things.
You've come openly and Maraga came openly in the morning.
Yes, Maraga came openly. So now they don't want me.
Both Davids came out.
Yes, I am David also. And he's David. We have come out openly. Me, I'm David who lost 7 million.
To the other Davids.
Yes, Maraga lost a car. In an accident in a car, he was driving himself.
Hold on.
And then he told us there were bodyguards. Where were the bodyguards treated?
So this day.
Show me injury. If Maraga was injured like that, so the bodyguards were not injured?
But doctor, outside.
Muniambie.
Outside of the CJ asking for a Benz over the fueling of the car or whatnot, I want to believe he has a car. That was involved in an accident is a Mercedes-Benz. I'm sure he has another one.
So
an official car.
A Mercedes-Benz knocks on the people behind the seat, and it does not knock the bodyguard. Okay.
So
let's stress. Let me be Colombo, the Africa Colombo. Here we are driving, two of us, with seatbelt on. Where does the head injury comes? You have knocked something in front, and the neck is as a result of the seatbelt, which is, stops after the bang. 2, where is the car that the Chief Justice knocked? Was the owner compensated? Who is the owner? Can he come out and say, my car was in wrong? Let's look at the police records in Nakuru. The traffic men who arrived on the scene. So that Maraga also can have a lot to explain to Kenyans.
Can have a day in court.
Yeah, not in court, in a commission of inquiry, because there was nobody who died.
And nobody has went to start a case.
Yes, but now for public interest.
Has filed.
Yes, public interest. People want to know, was this accident, was the Chief Justice driving himself personally? And if so, where did he get permission to drive personally?
Yes, and as much as people want to know that, Doctor, I think it's also important. What Kenyans really want to know right now is when are our courts going back to start working and serving Kenyans? We have a backlog of cases that now, the courts are closed.
It's a regime change. It's a regime change, my dear sister. It's a regime change to frustrate Uhuru Kenyatta. That as much as the BBI is about to come out, Uhuru Kenyatta will not find a court anywhere. Another headache. So we struggle with this. This is a matter that the Chief Justice should have picked a phone and gone. Picked a phone and gone to the president and say, Mr. President, I want to talk to you. Since my car, I knocked it in Nakuru, I have not received a new car.
I think he has.
I don't know, because the guy cried for a Mercedes today that he has just guzzled at this V8. He doesn't want that.
I wish that video would have played in its totality.
You will play it in the evening. They will play it.
Yes.
I mean, that's it. the people should not blame. Yeah. For us, we are bringing something. You see, Mr. Robert Alai always writes. He wants him to be the one to bring the story. When he sees others are on top of it, then he comes on your world to insult you.
He must have taken a break. Alai, are you still there? I don't see him.
He can't, let him go ahead. I will find you.
Thank you. Thank you for watching.
There is no use of even arguing with Alai. If he wants an argument over TV, let's go on TV.
Which one?
His or whatever, if he has.
Okay, but you welcomed him here, so.
But we can go to KTN, JKL, we can be called and we talk.
Right.
I will not fight. I will only reason with my head. And I tell you the truth about this. I'm on top of it. I could not have come here to make an allegation without having facts. I just want to know the person whose car was knocked. Was he paid or not paid? Who paid him? Which insurance paid him? How much was it paid? Was he in wrong or not? Because if he was in wrong, then he should pay for the insurance of the car of the Chief Justice. So have I said anything wrong there? Thank you very much, viewers. Anything else? Ask.
I ask, well, the judiciary had requested 31.2 billion Kenya shillings, but Parliament allocated about 14.5 billion Kenya shillings, which Treasury has now slashed from the 14.5 billion that Parliament allocated judiciary. Treasury slashed 11.5 billion Kenya shillings. And the reason...
And they were left with only 2?
With about 13.5 so billion. So the 3 billion that was removed really is affecting their work right now, I think, their financial year. So that is what actually judiciary is looking for, the money that Treasury has.
But this can be solved. You see, my biggest problem and worry is this can be solved by the Chief Justice.
So they should be working together.
And the Chief Justice can pick a phone and call the President.
Even I think Mr. Makbura here agrees with that. He's saying, correct, Doctor, the 3 arms of government should work amicably. Yeah. But is this something that should worry the President? Because if the courts are not working, should he be worried about the judicial system in the country? Because it needs to be working and functioning, not being closed for the number of days that now the courts in Kenya have been closed. And if it's worrying the President, what is he doing about it?
Also, I expected David Maraga to talk about the criminal justice system by defending his court. Okay? The criminal justice system of the Republic of Kenya is actually in favor of the criminal and against the judges. What we have given them as laws to use to sentence people are not very good laws. So I expected Maraga to ask the MPs to talk about and change the criminal justice system. For example, you have a criminal justice system that says if you rape someone, you can go to police and get protection. What is that order called? The order that stops...
Restraining order.
Restraining order not to be arrested. Anticipatory bail.
Oh, anticipatory bail, yes.
So such a criminal justice system is naive. I've never seen it walai Mungu anywhere. So those are the things that they should have done.
They should have done.
Yes. And I expected Maraga to complain. If he complains on that, I will support him. We are friends, though. I was in Mashujaa Day. I was given a card to go and see Maraga. I refused.
Why?
Because now these things, I would have ended up asking him.
You would have taken a fine to celebrations. I started asking how difficult.
I wanted to have my food nicely.
In peace.
In peace.
Okay.
Thank you very much, viewers. Welcome to Punchline Africa TV, the only station that delivers it hot as it is.
Very, very hot.
Very hot.
That was a very hot
today. I think even my co-presenter.
I was just sitting in here.
It's shaken.
Just listening.
Are you not shaken?
I was just listening. Not
she listened.
Yes.
It's hot. But there you are. At times, my co-presenter, I don't do without facts. So they are here. You can also go through them. And that is what we have done. None is above the president. The CJ can make a direct call to the president anytime. Exactly. Thank you, baby Baba Jackie.
It was. Yes, Baba Jackie.
Keep talking. The CJ can call the president and say, I have a problem with the judiciary. No good car, no salary, no bread, no tea. Judges are hungry, yawning in court. The president can now talk nicely with some institutions to make adjustments. On direct the Minister of Finance to look into where they can supplementary budget that can actually help the treasury. But we are having a Mr. Chief Justice Maraga
But I think perhaps where Maraga is coming from, because when
but you don't come the way he is coming.
When the Treasury was cutting off that part of the money that even Parliament passed, they said that money was channeled to the Big Four. So he's thinking, I think that's why he feels that he should address the President, because the President is stuck in, I have to leave this legacy for Kenyans. And they're thinking, okay, but this is coming at the expense of other institutions. So that is the reason that the Treasury gave, because part of that money also have to go to funding the Big Four agenda. So maybe that's where the judiciary is coming from. I don't know. I'm just trying to understand all these things. So, yeah.
I want to thank very many of you who said, great, my senior governance expert. Thank you. And we would like to show you the picture of the CJ's car. Can you bring it up now?
The new one.
Yeah.
Okay.
The man is struggling for another. This is one of the most powerful Mercedes. 350, S350.
It's a good car.
But he wants S500. A gasoline. Thank you very much, Javas. Thank you for listening. And I didn't know that you listened to some of my things. God bless you. I've taken the horn, the bull by the horns. Pray for me. The journey ahead is very littered with too many Maragas. And the Honorable Dr. Jeff Kalui, thank you very much. Calling from, he has written and said that I should read. That's the CJ's car. Any CJ in Burundi who has this car? CJ's lost it. Now it is about which Mercedes series should be driven, really. Comparing himself with majority leaders. How I see what you have been saying. Who receives him in meetings? He is not a politician. African issues, as Africa has issues, man. I think it is time for him to retire. It is better for him to go. That is Dr. Jeff Kalui, a former presidential candidate. Thank you very much. Calling all the way from New York. Umaona, program inawaka moto today. Thank you. Miriam, thank you.
Yes. All right.
Thank you very much. And probably the CJ prefers megaphone diplomacy, which is unfortunate. Exactly. CJ with a flag as proof. Yes, that is the car. Now, viewers, thank you very much. Tomorrow we return with 2 programs. The morning show is hot by Miriam. She's stuck on the legacy and the Big Four and African news. Then comes the monster in the evening with bad news, diplomatic leaks. Tomorrow, guess, it is gonna be a day that you have never seen me talk. I'll deliver the blow in the diplomatic leaks.
And, Doctor, just an update in the morning. You're not here. Sorry, I'm cutting you short. But Mabirizi's, case that he had filed at the East African Court of Justice was defeated. So
they defeated.
It was, yeah.
I want to thank Mr. Mabirizi for the tenacity and the steadfastness that you have shown that as a Ugandan, peaceful Ugandan, you can take this. You can hammer this, deliver it home. You did your best for the people of Uganda to take the East African court to challenge the age limit of the president. But for now, that is the end of our journey. If you want us to move to the African Court of Justice, it is operational. But for now, as we Ugandans, we are not going to stand and get involved in further acrimony over the issue of age, because we are not God to determine somebody's age, how he will live. We should embark on determining on how to return term limits. That's all. And Thank you.
I agree with you totally on that. All right, so we see them tomorrow at 11 a.m. East African time for the Good Morning Africa show, and then later on in the evening for the, is it the punch? It's diplomatic. Yes. Diplomatic leaks at
we have a caller.
East African time. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Hello, is it Punchline Media?
Who is calling?
This is Mungai.
From?
Nidokori.
What?
From Nidokori. Now, I wanted to find out if you're having a topic on the census and the economics of it.
On the what?
On the census.
On who?
The census. On
the census this evening. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay, fine. I'd like to bring an economist there. Is that possible?
An economist?
Yes. Someone who can be able to debunk the census.
How about we call you after the show and
we can call you. You can. Do you have a Skype?
Yes. Where are you based?
Do you have Spike?
I have Skype and WhatsApp.
Yes, you can do a Skype.
Where are you based?
You can do a Skype with us. You don't care where we are based.
That's great. I'm asking where is the studio based, because I might have someone.
We will call you later.
We don't.
We are in the middle of the show.
We are in the middle of the show, madam.
We'll call you
okay.
Later.
All right.
Yes,
sorry about that.
But
okay,
we can give you a Skype wherever you are in your house. We shall connect you to talk to us.
All right. Sorry for interrupting your show. We'll talk later. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
That's tricky.
One day they will call you, ask you for a job, and you're live. We should know who is calling. From Kidanguri. I think we're done. Are we still on?
Thank you very much, viewers. God bless you.
Oh my God.